So during this time and this meeting, we're going to go over several things. We're going to discuss traditional versus gestational surrogacy, how to conduct research to find out if surrogacy is right for you, how to find the right surrogate agency if you want to go that route. If you want to go independent, that would take a little bit more research, but definitely possible. We always recommend the support of an agency, but you are free to do what's best for you and your family. We also want to learn a little bit about the lingo, because it can sometimes be a little confusing when you're joining surrogacy and you're seeing all the groups and all of these abbreviations. So we want to kind of touch on that. We're also going to touch on confirming that you meet the qualifications. Previously in some of our other webinars, I have went over the qualifications. So I won't go into detail, but you can definitely check out our website or our Facebook page to get those webinars and be able to just get caught up on that information. We also want to talk a little bit about the responsibilities and expectations, and then how to apply with an agency or how to navigate our website. So we'll get started. If you have questions, if you have any concerns, or you just want to learn a little bit more about surrogacy, always feel free to reach out to us. Our website and our Facebook page are great sources of information. They also have our contact information. You can also directly email me at Ashley, ASHLEY, @surrogatefirst.com, or you can give us a call on our main line, which is shown on our website and Facebook page. So we'll get started. If you do have any questions while you are on the live or on the web series with us, definitely shoot those out. I'll try to answer them. If I see them after we're done, I will make sure to contact you and answer your questions. Perfect. So the first thing we're going to talk about is traditional versus gestational surrogacy. Traditional surrogacy is where you would actually use your own egg and then a donor sperm, whether that be the intended father's sperm or if they had a donor. This is a type of surrogacy that agencies do not usually work with. We personally don't. There are a few out there, but this is something that has a lot more legal facets to it. And so we are not equipped to work with traditional surrogacy at this time. Gestational surrogacy means that we are the oven. So intended parents, their oven is broken. We take their bun and we grow their bun for them. Basically, they will use their gametes, which is their sperm and their eggs, or they will use a combination of donor eggs or donor sperm. Those donor eggs or those eggs and sperm will be fertilized, will grow to a 5-day embryo or called a blastocyst, and then that would be what was transferred into a surrogate. So those are the two different types of surrogacy that is available. There is also, it's important to understand the lingo. And so I'll share a little bit of my page. So as we're going through, you have that information. If you want a copy of my cheat sheet of abbreviations, we can definitely email that to you. I can send that through Facebook. So whatever it is that works for you guys, I'm here to help. So I'm going to just take a minute. I'm going to share my screen with you, and hopefully we can go over some of this and answer some questions. Once we're done with the lingo, we'll definitely go into what to ask and what to look for in a surrogacy agency, and then how to do proper research in becoming a surrogate. One second. Sometimes technology is not the smoothest, but we got it. So here are the list. I've created this list with several different things. It's going to be in alphabetical order. Some of the things you may hear on this webinar today is going to be things like GC. GC is a gestational carrier. That is what we're called. Previously, back several years ago, you may hear the term gestational mother or surrogate mother. That term has kind of ended and is no longer PC. It's no longer an acceptable term in the surrogacy field. As surrogates, we do not consider ourselves mothers. We may be babysitters or caretakers, but we are not mothers. We can never replace the mother and the father, and that baby will return to their parents. So we prefer to be called gestational carriers. That's either a GC or a GS. The other term you're going to hear a lot of times is IP. IP is intended parent. And so that's what your intended mother would be, an IM, intended father would be IF. Sometimes you'll see on the groups intended father, so you'll see IFs, IMs, same thing. So whatever makeup the parents are, that's another term that's going to be used a lot of times. Also an important one is RE. RE is reproductive endocrinologist. That is the doctor that is at the IVF clinic. You'll hear that one too. You're also going to hear a lot of an FET, which is a frozen embryo transfer, SETs, which are single embryo transfers, meaning they transferred one embryo, DETs, where they transferred two embryos. But definitely take a list, take a look at this list. You can always screenshot it, contact me, email me, and I'll send you over that list for you guys. The other thing we're going to want to talk about that's important is researching for agencies. And so with that, we want to make sure that you are definitely asking questions. Not all agencies are at the same playing field. Not all agencies are qualified. You want to make sure you find an agency that's going to take care of you, that knows what they're doing, that is experienced with IVF. So making sure you ask, how long are they in operation? You don't have to be in operation for 50 years, but to have a solid backing and a solid foundation in the field. If they haven't been around for several years, asking them how they got started, about their founders, making sure that there's transparency in the agency. If they have just started in the last couple of years, finding out how long have they been in the IVF field, because many people have a heart for IVF after either being intended parents, working in the IVF clinics, becoming surrogates. And so a lot of people have that heart and that knowledge. They just may have been in different roles instead of an agency. Also making sure to find out how many, surrogacy cases do they complete a year. You want to make sure that they're fully staffed, that they understand the process, they've got the knowledge, they're available, they're transparent. Definitely understanding if they've had any type of legal cases, or what normal clinics do they work with, what areas are they in, where do they have their coordinators located that we're going to be able to do case management. So those are definitely things you want to ask. How long does the process last? That is definitely an important one. So part of becoming, figuring out if you are ready for becoming a surrogate is to ask these questions to the agency. A lot of times surrogates don't realize this is a long process. You're committing at least 2 years of your life to the process of becoming a surrogate, and then the actual surrogacy and pregnancy. So a little bit about that. So as you're doing those researches, is to realize that you have to be cleared by an agency. Once you're cleared by an agency, or you're cleared, if you're going the independent route, we'll stick to the agency side of this, just so that it makes it a little easier. But once you're cleared with an agency, you will then be able to then find the proper match. The agency should be able to share, profiles with you. Find out how long it takes normally to share a profile. Once the profile is completed, you'll have 3 to 6 months of different stages and different clearances processes with the clinics, with attorneys, before you even transfer. And then you've got 9 months of pregnancy and 3 months of postpartum healing. So it is definitely a commitment. So finding out how long is their process, finding out about, how they got started, where is their heart in that? When you're researching to become a surrogate, it's really important to understand that there are responsibilities and expectations. This is not a normal pregnancy. And there are things that are higher risk. So joining Facebook groups, sometimes they're not all the nicest, but they are there with the heart that they want to help. They want to make sure that everyone in the field is doing what they're supposed to do and they're ethical. Sometimes you may be met with a little bit of angst, or I'm trying to think of the word, just a little bit more aggressiveness, but really what it's coming from is it's coming from their heart to want to make sure that intended parents are protected and surrogates are protected. You also want to understand that this is pregnancy. And so researching IVF and pregnancy, and if there's higher risks to certain things when you are doing IVF. The other thing you'll want to do is look at the types of medications that you could possibly be taking. Because as a surrogate, we do have to do intramuscular and subcutaneous shots. We have to take pills. We may even have to take suppositories. And so it's important to understand that and your body. When you do apply with our agency and you've completed part of your intake interview, we do have a surrogate handbook, and that does have more information in there. But if you'd like that information, it's definitely available. There are so many clinics, and our website itself go over a lot of these things. When you're researching, you don't always have to start with Facebook groups. Go on and research and Google, and you're going to see that there's a lot of blogs. There's a lot of people that have went through this. There's different clinics and agencies. And so doing your research, finding the right fit. There's definitely different types of surrogacy processes. Some clinics will do natural cycles, some will do more medicated. Even with the natural, it's more medicated. So definitely spending like a year of research. I do want to give you a little bit of a tip. If you're applying with an agency and you speak with them and you ask them questions, but they're not fully educating you, that may be a flag or a warning sign. You want to make sure that your agency gives you the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that you know that you can trust them moving forward, that they have laid out as much as they can foresee of surrogacy, and that you make the right decision. Surrogacy is not for everyone. It is a time commitment. It is a commitment to your family. Your family will have to be on board and support you through this, not only with the pregnancy, but there's background checks and there's testing and blood work and so much that's involved. And so you want to make sure that you and your partner or your support team, that they're all on board with this. Definitely take that year to research. Also, with those responsibilities and expectations is making sure that you're responsible. It is so important to be a good communicator, to follow through, to respond to emails, whether they be from agencies or attorneys or your IVF clinic. You want to know that you have the time and the ability to, in a timely manner, respond to everyone that's involved in this, because this process is long. And so you want to make sure that it's going as smoothly as possible. Also, having good communication skills is just going to be able to build that relationship with the intended parents even more. We also want to make sure to understand that it's not like a normal pregnancy. You're going to have more appointments starting off, and you're going to have more appointments leading up to the transfer. And then even after the transfer, there are more appointments than a normal pregnancy until you're released to your OBGYN. That's when the pregnancy takes on more of that normal role. But understanding that you have those extra responsibilities, that you may have to travel to their clinic, that you may have to stay overnight for transfer or for bed rest, understanding that your job will have to be understanding in that whole process, that you will be at appointments and different things like that. So learning those kind of things. Surrogacy has been the most amazing experience I've ever had. I mean, other than having my husband and my children, it changed my life. And so no way did any of these extra responsibilities and these extra expectations ever outweigh the emotional experience that I had with watching someone meet their child for the first time. While watching parents after years of loss be able to have a little bit of hope that they may grow their family. And so while I give you these things, I want to be honest, but I also want to let you know that surrogacy is so much more than responsibilities and expectations. You are helping to grow someone's future. You're helping to grow their family. You're helping to just soften a little bit of the sadness or the loss that they may have experienced in their life. So definitely continue on with it. We'll move on to some of the other information right now too. I can get going on how amazing my surrogacies were, but that's not what this webinar is about. So we'll talk about that later. Reach out too. As a 3-time surrogate, I am an open book. You want to find out about the amazing experiences I had or the not so amazing experiences, because not every surrogacy journey was the same. I'm always here. You can reach out to me at SurrogateFirst, Mareko at Facebook. Add me as a friend, message me. We can talk and just learn a little bit more and find out if it's right for you. Let's go into our website. So I can kind of show you just a little bit about how to apply and go over the qualifications. So one of the qualifications, let me see, share my screen again. I promise I'll get better at this. But we do have a list. So at SurrogateFirst.com, there is an area for surrogates. There's requirements, compensation, steps, wellness, frequently asked questions, ask a surrogate. And so there's definitely a lot of support for you. And then there's apply now. You can go through it. Check the age, the BMI, the health. Remember, surrogacy is about minimizing the risks to you and minimizing the risk to the parents. And so we want to make sure that it's been a healthy pregnancy history, that you are at a healthy weight and age for safely carrying children. Even if you carried your children successfully and you've had complications, that still may not qualify you for surrogacy. We do want to minimize the risk to all parties. You are a mother. We would never want to put you in a situation where you could lose your life with pregnancy because of the complications you've experienced in the past. We also would hate for the intended parents to lose their baby. So we want to make sure we take care of everyone. You can go through this, look it up. If you need the website again, it's on our Facebook page, but this is definitely somewhere you're going to want to go over. Now, when you head to our page, I just want to kind of share about the applying. We have a simple and easy form. You hit on apply now. Now, I know it gets exciting. It's a 3 to 5 minute process. You fill out a couple questions. That is going to actually be, the initial application. So that's going to just give out about 10 to 15 questions. You're going to complete that. That's going to let us know if you've got the basic requirements met. After that, you're going to have someone reach out to you. You'll also have potentially the full application open up automatically. And so we definitely want, to know that process. You're going to get emails and calls, but that's it. That's how simple it is. Now, once you apply and you're wanting to become a surrogate, that clearance process is going to be a little bit longer. You're going to need to be able to complete background checks, gather pay stubs and IDs, fill out medical request forms so that we can gather your medical records. We also are going to want to make sure that we have your profile created for parents with questions and answers that help them to get to experience your personality, photos of you and your family. These are all things that will be happening in the first steps as we get to clearance. Once we've completed your clearance and your records have been reviewed by a nurse, your background checks have come back, and then we complete a blood panel. Once all of that comes back and you're cleared, we'll be able to start sharing families with you. I do want to say it is so important that when you're filling out the application, you fill it out completely honest, that you don't fill it out so that you match quickly. You fill it out to what your heart believes and what you're looking for in a match. We'll find the right parents out there for you. It's just so important to do that. And if you answer it honestly, it will definitely help us out. Sometimes there may be some complications you had in your past, but by being honest with an agency, whether you apply with us or another, that information may come out in background checks or psychological evaluations or medical records. And if you've brought it to the agency, they can be honest and let you know if that's going to be something that hinders you becoming a surrogate, or if that's something that we can still work with. So that's definitely where I want to stop. And I think that we've kind of covered everything I wanted to cover. If you have any questions, again, I know I've said it before, but I think it's important. If you have any questions, reach out to us on our Facebook page. You can also reach out to us on our website. Our website is www.SurrogateFirst, all one word, .com. You can also email me at ashley@surrogatefirst.com or info@surrogatefirst.com. We have an amazing team that is comprised of about 95% intended parents and surrogates, experienced surrogates. And we're here to answer your questions. We're here to support you through this. If you're an intended parent and you're wanting to understand a little bit more about the process, we have a free consultation. Go ahead and hit up our website, click on the free consultation, and one of our amazing intended parent coordinators will reach out and schedule a time to go over the steps, the process, and the cost. If you're a surrogate and you're not quite sure if you want to apply yet, but you do have questions, we also have an area where you can ask a surrogate or schedule a interested in becoming a surrogate consult. And that's where there's no pressure. So definitely reach out to us. We're here to help. We're here to educate. We're here to support. We just want to make sure that we are helping families grow and that we are being responsible with our agency and with your lives. So I thank you so much. I hope that you tune in 2 weeks to our next webinar where we will cover even more of the process. We're going to be diving deep into the actual match meeting, what to expect in that, medical clearance, legal, compensation, and so on. And so definitely these are great things. If you have any friends that are interested in surrogacy, or if you have friends or family that are interested in surrogacy, definitely have them reach out to. We'll answer their questions. And we have an amazing referral program. We thank you for having a heart that's willing to help families grow, whether it be through you becoming a surrogate or a friend becoming a surrogate. I hope you have a wonderful day. Stay blessed, and I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.